Hendrick replaces nearly all of Kyle Larson's pit crew, Connor Zilisch schedules his next Cup start, and Carl Edwards is just trolling us at this point. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Justin Haley may be 26th in points, but that number 7 team must be doing something right because all their people are being poached. We'll get to that in just a few moments. First, let's talk Carl Edwards. He'll wave the green flag this Sunday at Darlington. Honestly, I felt kinda bad for Carl recently. Every time he makes an appearance or takes questions from reporters, he's asked, "Are you gonna race again?" Over and over and over again. To be fair, Carl has never definitively slammed that door shut, but he has made it pretty clear that he's not too interested, especially when he recently declined Kyle Larson's offer to practice the number 5 car at North Wilkesboro. So I've legitimately felt kinda bad for Carl Edwards, always being asked the same question. But now he's just trolling us. In just the past 24 hours, he's appeared on Trevor Bayne's Instagram story wearing his old 2016 NASCAR fire suit. Looks like it still fits, by the way. Looks pretty good. Oh my god, and he's driving, he's making laps? Okay, that's one thing. But then I see Corey LaJoie post this. Who is that in the cockpit? Oh my!
Oh, hey.
Corey LaJoie's family famously owns a seating company. Carl Edwards is sitting in the car at the shop. No. It can't be that. But now, honestly, I won't feel bad anymore if reporters keep asking Carl Edwards the question. Doing stuff like this, he's practically begging to be asked the question even more. Now, in my honest opinion, I don't think any of this really means anything. Keep in mind, Trevor Bayne and Corey LaJoie will be Carl's teammates on the Amazon Prime broadcast later this season. So more than likely, this is just them working on promotional material, or maybe this is like a team building activity. I highly doubt Carl Edwards is ever going to race anything competitively in NASCAR again, but when you post a photo of yourself in your old fire suit, yeah, you're begging to be asked the question. Anyway, let's move on. Kyle Larson has been in the headlines this week. We'll start here. Bob Pockrass, Fox Sports, noted today that the roster portal shows that Kyle Larson now has the Justin Haley over-the-wall crew except for the fueler. Now on Larson's car, rear changer Mike Moss, tire changer David Stallings, Jack Eric Ludwig, front tire changer Jafar Hall. Haley over-the-wall crew hasn't been filed yet. Wow, so 4 of the 5 over-the-wall pit crew members on Kyle Larson's team have been replaced suddenly. 7-8 weeks into the season. Was Cliff Daniels that upset over the loose wheel at COTA a few weeks back? I mean, maybe. Cliff Daniels does strike me as a bit of a perfectionist, but everything I've seen suggests that the Hendrick Motorsports number 5 pit crew is one of the best in the business. I went back and looked. That loose wheel penalty at COTA a month ago was the only penalty the pit crew has endured this season. Friend of the show, Ryan Stevens from wintherace.info, tracks all sorts of pit road data and ranks Larson's crew as one of the fastest at 4-tire pit stops this year. I went back and checked my notes from Martinsville, and everything I could find suggested Larson's pit crew net gained him positions on pit road throughout the day. So this is a little surprising. Hendrick leases their pit crews out to Spire Motorsports, so it's well within their right to swap crews with the 7 team should they see fit. I'm just surprised. I know Hendrick Motorsports demands near perfection. Cliff Daniels demands near perfection. Kyle Larson is in contention every week, is fighting for his 2nd career Cup Series championship. Like, you don't want to leave any speed, any efficiency on the table. I'm still surprised, though, to see this change. Obviously, Hendrick Motorsports has access to more data and information than you or I do, so if they think this is the right move, I'll take them at their word. I'm surprised, though, nonetheless. Hendrick Motorsports also unveiled Kyle Larson's Indy 500 and Coke 600 paint schemes for this season. Once again, the McLaren papaya colors are there, but the base scheme, a little more white than last season, looks really good. Both wraps look extremely clean. I mentioned earlier that Carl Edwards declined the team's offer to practice the Hendrick number 5 car at North Wilkesboro during Indy 500 qualifying. Jeff Gordon makes it sound like Justin Allgaier more than likely will get the nod.
The last that I had heard is that we'll probably have a JRM, driver driver and somebody that fits in his seat. And you can do the math and put it together.
This line was also particularly telling. Gordon was asked, hey, what's the goal for Larson and Hendrick this year? And Jeff said,
the goal is to be in Charlotte when the green flag drops.
Man, NASCAR put the fear of God in this team. Of course, last year, weather interrupted Larson's double attempt. He completed the Indy 500, but was unable to make the start of the 600, and the rain came before he could ever get in the seat. NASCAR was not too happy with Larson and Hendrick's decision-making and made it very clear that they are to prioritize the Coca-Cola 600 this season or risk not receiving a playoff waiver. So fingers crossed the weather holds up, because I would love to see Larson truly complete the 500 and 600 in the same day. The Hendrick 1100, they're once again calling it. And Amazon Prime has joined the project this year. They're producing a documentary on this whole endeavor. Gordon mentioned that they filmed a bunch of stuff last year as well, so I'm sure some of that footage will work its way in. But man, I hope they're able to complete the challenge in 2025. This is an exciting moment for American motorsports, broadly speaking. And it's the kind of project that I want to see Amazon Prime or Turner or Fox or NBC highlight. This is the kind of content that's going to grow the sport at this point. As iconic and legendary as Dale Earnhardt is, we don't need another Dale documentary. Emp Lemon on YouTube, I think, captured the essence of who Dale Earnhardt was and what he meant to millions of fans when he posted that great YouTube video a few years back with over 5 million views. That story has been told. I'd rather see Amazon and these different production companies throw their budget behind a Kyle Larson, a modern-day racing star who is highlighting how versatile NASCAR drivers can be. Very few race car drivers on earth have the same raw driving ability and adaptability that Kyle Larson has. I'm thrilled to see a major network or streamer or just production company in this case throwing their money behind a modern-day project. When we talk about trying to grow the sport, I think showcasing Kyle Larson, Hendrick Motorsports, what they're trying to do here, I think that's the way to do it. I'm rooting for Kyle Larson to complete the double. I hope he runs well in both races. Memorial Day weekend, the end of May, can't wait. Speaking of Memorial Day weekend, speaking of living in the present, looking forward, Connor Zilisch, 18-year-old Trackhouse development driver, will make his second career Cup Series start at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca-Cola 600. He will once again drive the number 87 Red Bull sponsored Trackhouse Chevrolet, and gosh, he's being thrown straight into the fire, am I right? Zilisch hasn't even completed a full Trucker Xfinity Series season yet, and their races cap out at like 300 miles. You're telling me his first Cup Series oval race is going to be 600 miles? Gosh. I know he's done some longer stints in the Rolex 24, for example, and been successful, but road racing is right in his wheelhouse. Running the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway is an extremely tall task for any 18-year-old, especially someone making their oval Cup Series debut. I'll give Connor Zilisch some credit. He has picked up oval racing in the Xfinity Series pretty quickly. Last year in his Xfinity oval debut, he finished 4th at Kansas. Backed that up with a 12th place run at Homestead and another 4th at Phoenix. And so far this year, he's looked okay. In the last 4 traditional oval races, he's led laps in each race. Only has one top 10 finish to his credit, but at Martinsville last week, he dominated, swept the first 2 stages before that race devolved into utter chaos. My hope for Connor Zilisch is that he at least finishes the Coca-Cola 600, 400 laps. He's probably going to spin that thing out at least once, trying to find the edge. But hopefully he can keep that car clean, run all the laps. If he scores a top 30 finish, I'll be pretty impressed. Connor Zilisch making his second Cup Series start in just a few weeks. Memorial Day weekend just got even more interesting. Moving on, I'll wrap up with this. No sophomore slump for Ty Gibbs. Instead, he's suffering the junior year jinx. 7 races into the season, and the Joe Gibbs Racing driver is still without a single top 10 finish. He missed the main event at the Clash, finally scored a top 15 at Martinsville. Great rally after getting spun by Tyler Reddick. Finished 13th. Finally, some positive momentum, perhaps. But still, Gibbs finds himself 31st in points. This week, Joe Gibbs Racing made a pretty significant signing. Robert Cheddar Smith is joining Joe Gibbs Racing, the 54 car specifically. Cheddar was the longtime car chief for Kevin Harvick during his Stewart-Haas racing days, worked alongside Rodney Childers for many, many years, has been at Spire. This is a huge get for Joe Gibbs Racing, and especially for young Ty Gibbs. Young driver working this year with a rookie crew chief in Tyler Allen. You bring in someone with this much experience, championship experience in Cheddar Smith. He can only help this young race team get better. I don't see a universe where bringing Cheddar on board somehow makes the 54 even worse. They can only go up from here. I joked earlier about the 7 car losing all these people. Yeah, Hendrick just poached the pit crew, and now Cheddar Smith is moving on to Gibbs. Rodney doing everything he can to hold down the fort over there. But back to Ty Gibbs. Like I said, I think this can only be good news for the young driver. He's got some good tracks coming up for him. Darlington this weekend, for example, he finished second last year in the spring race, ran well in the fall race as well. He earned a ton of stage points at Darlington last season. Hopefully they have a good run here on Sunday. And after Darlington is Bristol. Last year in the spring Bristol race, Ty Gibbs swept the first 2 stages and finished top 10. That was a very unique race, of course, with the high tire wear, but still, some good tracks coming up for Ty. Hopefully that good result at Martinsville combined with the Cheddar Smith signing can help the young driver lock in, focus up. Martinsville may have stopped the bleeding, but Darlington and Bristol will show us if they've really turned the corner. Darlington is a huge opportunity for a few drivers who have struggled to start the year. Ty Gibbs, obviously. Brad Keselowski is 30th in points. He's the defending Darlington spring race winner. Earlier today, I sat down with the aforementioned Ryan Stevens. We talked all things Darlington. He brought the data. I brought the discussion. We talked about several potential Darlington Raceway contenders. You can check that video out on my channel right now. That is going to do it for this one, folks. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR discussion, news, rumors, race reactions, and so much more every single day. And a big thank you to my very generous Patreon supporters. Have a great rest of your day, folks. I will talk to you again soon.